What will your legacy be? And these have become, hey, as I'm getting older and we're the same exact age, this, I think, when I'm in my 20s, when I'm in my 30s, when I'm in my 40s, I wasn't as worried about that. It wasn't how will I be remembered or what will I create that lives on, where now that's almost become the most important stuff to me.
When we talk about legacy, legacy is impact, and passion plus purpose is impact. That's been my thing, is got to have the passion. You got to have a divine purpose. And when you combine passion and purpose, that gives you impact, and impact is legacy.
Welcome to the Fitness CEO Podcast, a show dedicated to helping fitness entrepreneurs launch and grow successful gyms. Here's your host, Bryce Henson.
One of the things that you said, TD, at the very end, like when you walked us through the exercises, is really about being legendary. So from that lens, and Martin, I'm going to call on you first, from that framework, and certainly we're here about, teaching and educating and client retention and team retention. So it could be focused on, the fitness aspect and the business aspect, but it could also just be in the life aspect. To you, Martin, what does legendary mean? And then after that, I'm going to kick it over to TD.
Well, and I think that's a great question, because one of the things by TD going through it and taking us through that exercise, the first thing he said, what does it mean? That's the first question, is what does that mean to you? Like what will your legacy be? And these have become, hey, as I'm getting older and we're the same exact age, this, I think, when I'm in my 20s, when I'm in my 30s, when I'm in my 40s, I wasn't as worried about that. It wasn't how will I be remembered or what will I create that lives on, where now that's almost become the most important stuff to me. And and I think that would be, I guess my definition would be, how or what have you either impacted, using that word, or lives on after you? And I'll tell you what, some of the most important conclusions I've come to is it's your family, it's those people that you work with, it's those people that your program impacts that you may never even know about, or the way that it is, right? Like, so here would be a great story, and then I'll hand it off, is I was in Finland, and this guy comes up, at one of the facilities, and he's got a baby with him, and he goes, "Hey, Martin, this is a warrior baby." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's cool, that's cool." And he goes, No, this is a warrior baby, man." And I said, "Oh no, that's neat. I'm not tracking, what do you mean?" And he goes, "Oh, well, I wasn't feeling good about myself. I was like really down in the dumps and depressed a few years ago. COVID is happening. This gym still was able to do outside workouts. I started coming. They gave everybody buddies, warrior buddies. I met this woman. We eventually got married. This is our baby." And he said, "Man, do you realize if you never create this program and you never try to inspire these people, there's never this kid, And that night, I couldn't almost sleep. Like, what's going to happen with this kid? Or is the kid going to be great? Or what will the kid do? But it showed me this thing that legacy is like dropping a rock into the pond, and like those ripples go, and you don't know where they all go. So you better be really careful what kind of rocks you're dropping, And but definitely, it's made me, again, coming back full circle, the refocus is family. Like that'll be the most important stuff to me at the end. Then why aren't I doing the most important things about it now, right? Yeah. And I've started to spend a lot more time there, and there's guilt that goes along with that. Like, oh wait, now I want to see my family. Like, for example, there's a hurricane coming for everybody listening, so TD's getting out of here. I got to make my, there's a hurricane coming tomorrow. I don't know if you know that.
I knew that.
And, so I'm trying to move my flight up, but I'm feeling like, oh, but maybe Bryce and everybody wants to hang, and now if I don't, what do I do? But I'm like, oh, but if I miss it, then I miss the family vacation that I'm, because we're going to Tennessee because they're off this week. And it's this battle of what I think your exercise really did with that 20-year person. Yep. I was thinking a lot about that during it, where that guy 20 years from now is going to say, "Hey, that was really good. You didn't miss that vacation."
That's right.
And that gave me power over being able to say, okay, like I'm not going to feel guilty about it if I leave, earlier or something. So it's kind of,
You never regret a good vacation.
I don't know what answer I had there, but yeah.
I would say this: number one, you never regret a good vacation, and two, what I just heard you say, Martin, is that warrior baby. Just think back, folks, as you're going through decisions for yourself. Martin, if you never started TFW, way back to when I knew you, when you were at Bill's,
with Bill,
and you have an idea, a dream, you eventually moved. If that never happened, and you didn't take a risk and a chance to actually work on your dream then that warrior baby would have never happened, because it involves risk, right? To step into your best version of who you are. They always say that, I used to hear this all the time, and I didn't take it for granted. Before age 50, you seek legitimacy. After age 50, you seek legacy. My whole thing used to be, I ain't waiting till age 50 to seek legacy. I'm seeking it at 35. And I said that. I remember saying that when I was in my 30s. I remember saying that when I was 40s, and now I'm 50. Like, wait a second. I was always seeking legacy, right? But what's funny is, why wait? Why wait to seek that? To answer your question is, when you say what does legendary mean, the exercise I brought them through is you had to define your own legendary, because maybe legendary is to be a great mom, because there's a gal who was in there was beating herself up about not being enough. And why is it so many gals that we know, and guys, but especially moms, can beat themselves up in the guilt of not being enough, right? So when you write a love letter or a legendary letter to yourself about you are enough, and how you show up as a mom or a dad or a husband or a wife, if you're doing your best and you're trying to change the world, it's important that that young kid understand why you do what you do, why you step on a plane to go speak or present, or why you show up, or why you get up at 5 in the morning to go change lives and come back to make breakfast and then run back out. And sometimes you feel so harried and hustled and hurried, but you're trying to change lives. And the most important thing that we can give a child is a purpose. The most important thing we give a teammate is a purpose, because to me, when we talk about legacy, legacy is impact, and passion plus purpose is impact. That's been my thing, is got to have the passion, you got to have a divine purpose, and when you combine passion and purpose, that gives you impact, and impact is legacy.
Mic drop. Boom.
Hey, my friend, hopefully you love that short teaser of the recent episode on the Fitness CEO podcast. To check out the full episode, it will be dropping shortly. But in the meantime, there's some other episodes around here that you need to see.